So, hello everybody and welcome to this third part of the tutorial. And in this one we will integrate all stuff together. We have now our 3D space and we got our orbs, and so we just build it up and see what will happen. Okay, first of all, I think we should just clear the composition up because I was a little messy. And so we just start with giving all the stuff the right names, the right sizes, and just go to, well, to a state where we can work. Okay, first of all, we have here still the name from the background, from the sky, and we look where we have this composition, and it's hidden there. So just pull it out and call that this is our 3D space. Okay, the next thing is we go to the orbs, and before we should just see how large this composition is, because our 3D space is based on a widescreen composition, and we should have the same also with the orbs. So we just go there and switch over. So we have it just makes the things clearer and easier. And as you can see, the whole composition breaks apart when you change the size, and so it's a good thing that you always stay in the same size and of composition. So we just fix that now. We make it layer solid setting, make same as composition, and also here solid setting, make comp size, and so we're back again, and everything's fine. So, I think you already saved the project, but we should go and reset it to a certain state so that we don't have the animation anymore in it. And so we just reset the position and the rotation and reset it there, so it will be as we started. Okay, the next thing is we should also give the particles a name. We or I messed up with that, but it's never too late. Okay, the first particle we have here is the one that will pick up the lines. So I will call that particle lines. No, I should pick a different thing. Maybe amateur lines, and we just copy and paste that because we know this is the amateur circle. Okay, so I think we have that and can go on. Okay, now we bring all the stuff here, we bring it into our 3D space, and well, it's quite easy, but you have to be a little sensitive about that, because it always depends on if you choose the layers from top to bottom or from bottom to top, and I always go from top to bottom, and you should pick up everything that is in there. Okay, just copy it, go to our 3D space and paste. So, okay. And suddenly something is happening here. It's getting dark here and it's getting light there. And why is this happening? Because we just imported two lights into the scene. But no problem with that. I think I would recommend just to give all these layers that you dropped in there a certain flag, and maybe we just put, no, not just red. I think that's, go with the yellow. Okay, so we know everything here is important for the orbs. And I think also we can leave it like that and just pull up the camera, that the camera is always staying on top, and maybe also give this a different color. Okay, when you have a composition like this, and so everything is standing here, and you have all the names. It's always good to give the layer also names, and this is quite easy because this is just made. Go to layer, press the asterisk, and you get a marker. And double click on that marker will give you a command line, and you can say this is light 2, and then in your layer you have also a name there, so you don't always have to look in front of the layer what this layer is actually. And when you have a large screen and you're mainly working this area, it's very helpful because you always can pull the markers where you want to have them, and it's very helpful. So okay, where do we start? I think the best thing is we just get the null here to the right position, where, and also we have to find these two lights, and so take the camera and we just, well, look around, and there they are. Okay, as you can see, when we go into the animation, there are no particles emitted, and it's just well, it's nothing there anymore from the orb looking thing. And well, this is because the both particular will lose its information when you go from one composition to the other. But it's not so bad, or we always know because we gave it name. We know which one we have to pick them because the information are all still there. So when you go to the emitter lines, and we go to emitter, and we have the particle, it's still custom, and here this layer he is losing that, and so we go to layer 8. That's the particle lines, and we go to emitter circle. We do the same here. Custom layer, that will be particle circle. There we go. Yeah. Okay. And now you see that something is happening. Well, this is not very much, but we have still everything together. So the next thing is that we should take care that the camera always have this particles in view, and therefore it's a good idea to bring up the null and open up the camera, and so also open up the null light, and we have here this position, and we also have the point of interest from the camera, and we want to have that the point of interest from the camera always looks at the position from our null here. So we just create a little well, expression. I think it's when you press the Alt key and go to the stopwatch, there's automatically opening the expression window. Just take the pick whip tool and go to position of the null, and this will then create, when we move the null to a position, that the camera will follow. And so it's a very easy thing, and we just bring it back very far there, make a keyframe, we go to the end of the composition and just pull it out again. There we go. And as you can see, our orbs will fly through the scene and the camera will follow them. So, okay, as you can see at this position, I just turn off the panorama in the background. We have to deal now with some other settings from the particles, because now we have a different movement, and as you can see by this representation, we are moving quite fast, and this is now actually very you have to deal very much with that, and now find the right settings for particles per second, and how large they are, and all the stuff. So all the things we did actually with the orbs here, you have to do them in the 3D space again, because every movement is different, and also every scene is different, and sometimes you can go on with very little birth rates, and sometimes you have to have quite just larger rates because of the movements that are going on there. And well, we just try to get things here right and get them on. So it looks quite good. Maybe a little more. Okay. So as you can see, the two orbs are just straight line, and there's nothing special happening. And so we just start with some sort of rotation, which they have, so the same thing we did before. And we just go there into Z rotation and go there. We make something like 3 maybe. Nah, that's could be more. 5. Okay. So now you're asking, why is all these things changing? In the beginning everything is dark, we just see something on the floor, and at the end it's the same, and in the middle we see something. Well, because the emitters are lights, all the layers that are switched to 3D will react on that light. That means that we have to tell these layers not to be influenced by the light. Sometimes it's a good thing, or very often it's a good thing, but in this case it's not good if the hills, the very far away hills, are influenced by the lights, because actually it isn't so. And so we just go into our layer we have here and go to the material options, and tell this layer that it shouldn't accept light. So just turn that off. And also do it with the other layer, material accept lights off. So therefore they will not turn dark anymore, and also if they reach the other side will also not turn dark anymore. The same thing is also with our panorama. But as the panorama is so far away, it is always affected by the light, and so you don't have to switch it down and or off, and so there's no problem with that. Good. So what will happen now with the floor? We still have the grid on the floor, and the reason for that is because now we are starting to really integrate that into the animation. And for that we just we just copy the setting, or we just duplicate the floor layer and turn one off, so that we just have one for safety reasons, that we still have the grid. And we just go to the floor, get rid of the grid there, and yeah, and we just look again for fractal noise and put it onto the floor. And as you can see, we already get some very nice texture on the floor, and the lights are reflecting on the floor, and we already have some nice thing here. But what we want to have is some more detail, and also to have it more integrated into the scene. So we just start and tweak with the settings, and we go to something like we can tone and smooth maybe, and go this to spline. Just click away this uniform scale, and we just bring down the scaling way down. And that's a nice thing about fractal noise. It will give you endless possibilities with the looks of the structure, and you can do some very interesting things, and it's extremely powerful, as I said. And I would recommend just really to play around with the settings here and find some nice texture you can work on. But for now we just go on what we have here, and maybe just bring it up a little, maybe even more. And also what you can do is you can work with the complexity of the structures, and there's still something more working on it. Okay, so what we have here now, I just will play it for a little second, is that we still have a very static floor, and as you can see, there's nothing really dramatic going on. And when we see, or when we just look at the original file here, it looks as if we are just if the camera is flying with the orbs, and so the floor is also moving a lot. And if you want to have that look, there's two ways. First of all, we could move the camera very fast across the floor, and move it with the orbs, or we could do some really nice trick about that. and I will show you this, and that's the offset turbulence. As you know, the floor, what we have here is I just switch to the custom view again. Way down, way down. The floor is just nothing but a square thing, and the camera inside there is not really moving. It's staying at the place, and the only thing that is moving is the light from the orbs, and they are going across the screen. And as we can see, they are very fast. So I think we should fix that, and not that they start so far away from the hills. And we just bring that back. It doesn't have to be that much. And also go there. And so therefore I think we get a much nicer movement. Okay, just go back to our active camera, and well, we see them traveling there. Good, but our thing was the floor. So from the offset, what we can do is, when we offset the position from the fractal noise, you see that the floor is moving, but it is not the layer moving, it's just the texture on the layer. And what we want to do is just to animate that offset. So maybe something like this. Go to the end of the composition, and again, oh, that was wrong, because we are okay. So now the floor should have a movement in itself, but I'm very sorry, I just messed up with this, because actually this should be positive. Floor offset turbulence, positive, and we'll go to the negative value. Okay, so just go to beginning of the composition, and there already the floor is moving, and it looks as if the camera is moving. Well, in reality, it is not moving. It's just, well, it's the floor that's, well, the texture on the floor. And if you would have made it in a traditional way, that means just make a texture in Photoshop, and you had to scale that up a huge amount and try to push it through the scene, and at the end you just would have a huge texture, and it wouldn't look much different than that from the movement. So because we are quite very near to the floor, we can make that also a little more dramatic, maybe add some higher values to it, 5,000 here, and at the end something like minus 5,000. I just don't know how it will look now, but we just make a small test. And so you see it's moving very fast now, and but I think it's too much. So just bring it down again to 2,500 maybe, and also at the end minus 2,500. So, and there it goes, and I think that looks quite good. Okay, So let's just go on now with the rest of the scene. As as we can see, we have here our hills. I think we have to definitely bring them down a little so they don't look so strange there. I think this hills here also, get them down a little. Okay. And what is just looking very strange are the orbs, and not very convincing, but we will work on that. Okay, as we now have, we just stay a little longer with the floor just to show you what you can do with that. Is the floor has on its material options tag, you have a little more settings you can play around with. That's the ambient, diffuse, specular, shininess, and metal. And as you see, the shininess is the reason why when the lights are traveling over the floor that you have a certain kind of reflection. And I think this is very important um, to make the scene looking as if it's something like ice on the floor, and that the lights are reacting with the floor. So I think it's always a good just see how you can tweak the setting and get some interesting look there. And also the ambient setting is there we have it. Ambient setting. Oh, okay. No, we don't need that. And so what you also can do is to stack these layers to say, well, okay, I want to have one floor that is quite reflective, and have some other thing that is not so reflective, but lying underneath. And so you can have very nice parts that are reflecting and other parts not. But this is more for if you want to spend a lot of time in working around with the layers. But it's much fun, and you can get very much out of that, and just with fractal noise. So yeah, you should definitely take your time and work things out and see what it gives you there. So, okay, we just leave it at that, and we go back to the orbs and see what we can do there. The first thing is that our null, where the orbs are positioned, is just making two things. It's making the position and going in a straight line from left to right, and also it will give us rotation, the Z rotation there. And but there's one thing that to make the movement more lifelike is very interesting when you go to the scale. We just have a scale of 100 now, and just press a keyframe, go a little in time, and when you scale up the null, the orbs will also go away from the center of the null. So this will then, when you go further in time and go back to 100, you will have a very interesting just breaking out of the normal position from these orbs. So we just select the keyframes, make a slide easy ease, and as you can see already, the movement of the orbs are getting much more interesting than just being in the same position. And so you can play around with the scale, just bring them up a little, down a little, and this will give some really, really nice movements to the Alps. Okay. So, and still we have they're looking like smoke trails, but we don't want to have that. So we switch over to add, and also here to add. So we have a really light and nice looking trails. Okay. So the next thing is that the look of the scene is still lacking a lot of well, of magic and of definitely of look. And what we can do now actually is just to go uh, to the sky and to the hills and to the floor, and just give them a nice color correction and well, make it look nice. This is one way to go, but as the whole movie is very, very dark and very tinted in some sort of blue greenish look, it is maybe a good idea just to say we have a color correction for the whole scene. So not for every subject here, but for the whole thing. And this is a really fun part, because it just it makes the thing so easy. And what we do there is we just add a new adjustment layer, and we put on this adjustment layer a new effect, and this will be from trapcode, the shine. Okay, so as I think you already know, the look that we have here now is well, nothing really special, and we've seen that very often before. There are some nice situations, but we don't want to have that. But one very interesting thing about Shine, and what I love about Shine, is the thing that you have these colorize um, segment here. And what we can do is just to pick now our color code that we want to have in the movie. So we just keep it as it is. We stay with a 3 color gradient and based on lightness, and we go to, well, make this a little bluish, and this more something like a blue-green tone, not so strong, and suddenly we have something that looks definitely more and interesting than the fire setting. But it still looks like Shine. What we now want to do is just to turn down the ray length to absolute 0, so that the only thing that is happening here is the tinting of the scene. And so you see, we are already almost going there, or where we want to go, or what do you do. And now you can see where our work will be, what we have to do. First of all, the floor still lacks some some details and also some light. So as this adjustment layer will now stay on for the whole time, it's just our basic color correction. We now just go on and we'll add for every segment we just pull on the levels, so we get a nice looking surrounding there. So when we are at the floor, we can turn up the brightness and maybe even like this. And so you see we have detail coming up, and that looks quite interesting. Okay, and the next thing is we just go to our panorama we have here, and we go to color correction and levels, and this will be now the only thing that we will use in the color correction thing, because well our color comes from shine, and so we don't have to pull on levels on the colors. We just have to pull on levels from lightness, from luminance, and so therefore there we go. Just pull down, way down, and let's see what we can get there. And you see we have some really dramatic sky now coming, and it's more of that what we want to have. And also we have here a nice halo going on, but the sky or the hills are still a little boring, so we go to the levels again and pull up the darkness slider, and it makes it more interesting when the hills don't have so much light there, and so they're more like a silhouette. And there the hills are. Let's see what we can do with them. Okay, so we're almost there where I want to go, and what's still very or not very nice is this position where we are still a little far away from the orbs, and it doesn't look so interesting. But what we can do, as our camera is still on, or not, we have not changed anything about the camera, is that we go to the position at the camera itself and just make a keyframe here. Go to the position where it looks a little, well, where we can go maybe some nearer to it. And as you can see, as we move the camera, the point of interest still will look at the orbs, but our camera is moving, and we are very much nearer to the orbs as they fly by, and that looks definitely more interesting. And you can also maybe make these uh, make an easy ease there, so it looks better. Okay. So our sky is still something, or is still a little too shiny here. It's it's not so good with the ops together, and I think it just will pull down the levels we have here, so it looks a little darker. Yeah, that looks much better, and so the orbs really are glowing, and we can follow them. Okay, I think we still have to work very hard on this one. It's not so... Just see, I go to the size here, and okay, as you see, there's a lot of tweaking you have to do with the orbs still, but I think I just I leave it now as it is in this way. Okay. One thing that we still don't have integrated in the scene is the orbs at itself, the lights. So this is now the last thing that what we are doing is we create a new solid and add trapcode lux. And as you already see, we have two shiny lights there. And what you can do now is just go to one of these lights, and you have there in the light options you have a color, and just turn one, I think, a little more greenish, so you can say this is light green, and the other one turn it to a little more bluish. There we go, and we call that light blue. So, and so one of the orbs is now having a more greenish and the other one a more bluish look, and that's what we already also have in the movie. And we go to this look settings again, and we can turn up the intensity of the light in itself, so that they really are glowing now, and giving us this typical look of the orbs. Okay, it's a little too much color we have there, but that's not a problem, because first of all we should add the lux, or the layer where lux is on it. We should have that added with a different transfer mode. And also what you can do is with hue saturation, just no, that's not that what we want. I think we have to go in there and just desaturate things a little. Yeah, okay, that's it. So I think you got the idea of how to create this scene, and I hope you enjoyed it. And well, there's still a lot of tweaking to do here, and also of how to create a nice horizon, to have something like a halo here in this part, and just play around with it and see what you come up with. And as I said, the orbs in itself need very much tweaking, and but you can do a lot of different movements also. And I think what you should also have in mind that every light that is here is still not animated. That means that if you change the position of the light in itself during the uh, during the animation, it also will add some very nice different looks of the position, and it will still revolve around the master node, but it can swing a little forth and back, and make some movements of its own. And this is also very important to fill the scene with life. And but I think try around with it and well, have some fun. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.